To be fair, they weren't given much room in that game. Maybe things will be a little bit different for him in Game 2. Let's move into the picks and bans for that one as well. One Night at LAN will once again be in that first pick spot, and Hype Unit will respond from the second pick. I expect things to look fairly standard, though I like this already. The Achilles has already been removed. They're in first pick. They have that luxury, and they can trust Hype Unit to very likely ban away King Arthur and Freya, so they can try and remove some of the stuff that was very strong last game, like Inbound's Achilles.
The Achilles, if it feels that problematic, you might as well get rid of it. Throw Bobby onto a different style of aggressive support if he wants to go that direction. But wow, the Kerninos ban to follow it up. So I guess even though I don't think Kerninos was really that
No, I don't think Griff
out,
had that big an impact.
It didn't feel like he was that influential, but I think that the big idea here for One Night at LAN, it was to maybe look for a differently sorted priority pick. But with King Arthur being banned by Hype Unit, they opt for the Odin instead. I almost wish that would have been a Xbalanque instead for the team.
Xbalanque has been very strong lately, so certainly wouldn't be mad to see that picked. I'm wondering if maybe this is a response to the way that duo lane went early for One Night at LAN. They did lose pressure almost immediately to the Achilles and the Kerninos, so maybe that's the idea from them, is to try and see if the duo lane can take another crack at it in a different matchup. But then Bobby, or Inbound rather, just picks another aggressive support, whether it's the Artio or the Bacchus. I imagine it'll be the Bacchus. He'll be just as aggressive as he was last time.
And this is what gets me now, right? Because I understand if you want to keep Wolves off of a pick, but to sacrifice Bacchus and then also allow for the counter pick measure of an Artio to come through, which I think Odin already in the last game for One Night at LAN definitely had his struggles because of layers on that Wheelish. You could see a lot of times where the Odin would just hesitate even before choosing to initiate. He felt like a lot of his disengage and peel for his carries was also fairly limited because he just didn't have that leap available to him. So it strikes me kind of odd here that One Night at LAN wouldn't just look directly for a Bacchus pick selection, and it almost feels like they're kind of setting themselves up for disaster right now.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that they their first two picks, it looked like we're towards banning away the duo lane, and somehow Hype Unit have a better duo lane than they had last game? Now they're on Bacchus Xbalanque, which is kind of what you dream of if you get to play duo lane right about now. So I don't know, man. That's a bit rough if you're on One Night at LAN. This certainly isn't out of reach. Hachiman and Kumbhakarna are plenty potent in their own right. They certainly are strong. It's just a bit difficult sometimes to deal with.
But
Belt at level 1.
This feels like the trap card of inexperience here, though, for One Night at LAN, because every single one of their bans, I think that they're just putting too much priority into god picks that stopped them in the last game. But when you're dealing with a team like Hype Unit, that to me, I understand it to a certain extent, but I also at the same time, you need to take that initiative to just kind of stand up and bring in your own meta, I think, or introduce your own flavor of like different play styles. But I don't think simply trying to draw the line at, oh well, we banned all these guys that stomped in the last game is really giving the team as a whole an opportunity here to really start learning how to deal with drafting situations better, because that's something that I think a lot of teams still struggle with to this day in competitive play, is just how to properly draft.
It sure does feel like, to me, this is the kind of draft you do if you didn't come with your own strategy and you're trying to slow down the opponents, right? That's what and that's kind of the distinction. If you're drafting to do your thing better, then I don't think it would just be the 4 things they picked last game awesome. As Pele comes through. I'm not sold that's for layers. He likes to play the Cabrakan, so I'm kind of thinking that might be for him, and we'll see Pele somewhere else. Who knows, though? They like to throw these picks around, so it could be anything. So.
I could see Wolves looking to have some fun with Pele solo. It could also be Artio in the solo lane, but Wolves has never been a guy that's been too keen on, having to play a little bit more passive. I think he's somebody that is always intended or always looked to be right up in your face.
He certainly does like to play aggressive. Will that net them the win here in this one? Game number 1 done. Game number 2 coming up. Let's get it over to Tom and Ryan.
Thanks a lot, guys. Freddie Benson and Carly Shea here on the cast. Gibby, of course, on the observation. Hype Unit versus One Night at LAN, Game 2.
How are you going to do my man's Doug like that?
What, you don't like Gibby? Who would he be? Principal Franklin?
No. What's the cool older brother's name? That would be Jerry, or Spencer. That's right.
Spencer? Spencer Shea?
Yeah,
oh, okay. Extreme Man knows his iCarly character.
Spencer is Gibby.
All right.
Wait,
you mean...
Extreme Man is Gibby.
Extreme Man is definitely Gibby.
Yeah, definitely.
Spencer can be Doug. Doug, do you approve? Give us a yes or a no.
I don't think he can go up and down, but he did go. He did shake his head no earlier.
Doug is the best person here because he's never watched the show.
Never seen iCarly.
Griff, looking for a flank, won't find it. It's Aggro's favorite show, so, you know.
All right, listen. I had a younger sister. I didn't always have control over what was on the TV. There were worse things than iCarly.
Like iRarly, your YouTube show.
That's right. That's me. iRarly here.
R-A-W-R.
Also, Tom, I know like I didn't really want to get into your favorite show because you would just talk about it so much, but the fact that you love Zoe 101 so much kind of weirds me out.
Is that, oh man, I can't even play along. I don't even know anything. Is that Cartoon Network? Or is that Nicktoons?
Was that Disney Channel or Nick? I'm pretty sure it was Nick. I think it was Nick. It was Britney Spears' younger sister.
What? I love Britney Spears.
And her sister.
I don't really know. Jamie Lynn?
Yeah.
Is that her mom?
Yeah, Jamie Lynn Spears.
I don't.
Zoe 101.
Oh man, I'm unfamiliar, I gotta say.
That's so weird that you're saying that, because you were literally just screaming at me, that show bangs. Like, you're like, this show's a banger.
No, it's not. I mean, you ever see Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider was a good show.
I've never seen Ghost Rider.
That was a good show. That was on public television. Now we're talking about where I grew up. The
Big Arthur guy.
Hey, you should sing that song. How does it go? I said, hey.
Hey.
Oh, we almost that.
No, you pick it back up. Like I'm the background.
No.
Yes.
That's your entire life. You're in the background. Sick bird. Aggro just high-fived me for it.
What is happening?
Well, right now, a pretty standard start. So what we've seen kind of a lot of these games go, it's been very rambunctious and people like looking for invades, etc. This has been very standard. So I've been able to talk to Aggro about his favorite show growing up, iCarly.
Except for the fact that Oboronic playing Pele in the mid lane. That's a little bit off kilter, I would say. It's an early game, pressure god.
Yep.
In the jungle.
Yup.
Solo, you can box a little bit.
Sure.
Don't love it in the mid lane.
Well, what we saw Hype Unit do a number of times in game number 1 was sort of goad the opposition into making poor plays and then capitalize off of that. So what we might be able to expect here is Oboronic set himself up to get jumped on, and then the rest of Hype Unit punish Night At LAN for looking for such an opportunity.
There's just no ranged poke at all for Hype Unit in this comp.
Well, if you level your stones, I mean...
Sure, it'll do like 280. Sick. It doesn't. That's nothing.
Inbound, 3-man stun here. Now Soul Reaper coming up over the top. Players gonna keep him at bay. Forger Vulcan in trouble. Soul Reaper though in the most trouble. Here comes the dash. Oboronic, the mid lane Pele. First blood. Funny faces all around. 1 kill for Hype Unit. Make it 2 as Oboronic, the mid lane Pele, grabs 2 kills.
Keeks has to use the beads. Layers all out of mana. Still has a stun in the bank though, and Griff has to be able to find these auto attacks to save his jungler. Indeed, he will.
Will he?
Will. Oh boy, Griff. Oh, not like this, my mans. Not in World Series form quite yet. It's opening week still.
So does Layers, on a scale of, well, we know how KP
I
acts.
threatened to kick him.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I really wonder
if Layers is joking.
Oh, I would love to be a fly on the wall right now. This is one that, so the Pro League, if you haven't watched it, Thursdays and Fridays air on this channel. The Pro League, all the players are living together in here and in LAN, and there are some ups and downs. There's some pluses and minuses to that. Speed buff invade here. Nice up down coming out from Night At LAN. JPrro gonna get 1, but the mid lane Pele picks up another, and now trying to deal, but 2 versus 1 is probably a little too much. JPrro gonna have to back to base. Wolves just, yeah, that was a mistake there.
Yeah, you don't love to see that.
Yeah, I don't love to see that one, but I think Layers, this is where he's kind of like raging and like breaking stuff in his room, and then hits push and talk, goes, no problem, I know you tried.
It's all good, man. You got him next time.
But then let's go over the push and talk and start screaming again.
It's the meme where it's the person crying, but they have the face over top of it that's like smiling
real
hard. You know
describe
what
more
I'm talking
memes.
No, that's the only one that's really applicable here, I'd say.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I doubt it.
Maybe there's probably a SpongeBob one that I could think of.
There's definitely a SpongeBob one. Right now, Wolves is in trouble, getting chowed down on, and JPrro will pick up kill number 6 there. And we're seeing a nice look here in the solo lane. One Night At LAN already with a 1,000 gold lead. What a nice turnaround from what we saw in game number 1. This is what we're looking for.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you think is Hype Unit's composition? That's what that One Night At LAN.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think of what?
How much of the lead which was implied, but I apologize for not saying it. How much of this lead that One Night At LAN has do you think is Hype Unit's composition?
10.
Agreed.
I'm not coming out here defending this composition. I just like making fun of things you don't like. Griff on the run, trying to deal with Keegan, gets up on the horse, and JPrro puts him down. Now inbound, trying to deal with Keegan one more time. Artio can deal some damage, but not if she's sleeping. The Bear Mom goes to bed thanks to Forger Vulcan. Player slays, no blink because he's in combat, but does have it once he moves, but not a big deal. And One Night At LAN up 1,500.
And this is not a composition that will do well from behind for Hype Unit. You really do need to get ahead with this sort of comp, and Pitbull is all over Layers' speed buff yet again. If Layers wasn't tilted from before, he almost certainly will be now. That's this is the way you do it. I mean, if Hype Unit's going to leave the door open for you, you walk in and steal their stuff.
That's exactly what's happening. Nice blink to get out of the cage. Keegan here one more time. One versus the world. Inbound cut down to 40%. There's the Xbalanque ultimate. The basics not good enough to kill. I don't think there was kill potential there whatsoever.
No, neither do I. Griff a little bit too excited there. Maybe if he went boots instead of Devo gloves, he might have had the power to do it, but just a little bit overzealous.
That's a word.
I would say.
I like that one.
Try it out sometime.
I wouldn't know how.
You just say it.
Pitbull right now going for an overzealous hit. Does that work?
It wasn't your best effort, but you get like a C.
Okay. That's one of the cheaty things that you can do. Sort of cheaty face there, because if you just use an adjective, well, I mean, I don't need to know what it means. You need to add some context in there. That's why you'll get pushback from your English teachers. So you need to use it usually with a secondary sentence.
What's up?
Forger Vulcan might get punished because he's 1 versus 2 playing overzealously on the left side of the map.
Don't know how much I love the LY ending there, but
adverbs are a piece of speech!
Yeah, I don't love adverbs. They're
what kind of stance is that? You know what? You know what hill I want to die?
What's that?
You know what? Screw adverbs. I don't like them. I don't like adverbs whatsoever. It's me, Ryan I. Bailey. Gold Fury going the way of One Night At LAN. Taken, even though Bobby shows up.
Here comes the mid lane Pele, though.
Hey, gets the kill.
No mid laner could have done that. Keegan gets absolutely crushed because he decided that he should be there. Double kill for Oboronic. He has 5 of Hype Units, 6 kills as mid lane Pele.
Mid lane Pele.
All 5 kills. No chance a mid laner, any other mid laner in the game gets to do that.
No way.
No chance.
No chance.
Not even a hope.
0 chance.
Couldn't happen.
Definitely not.
Not if you wanted to.
Not something that we see every day.
Definitely not.
Just not something you would go for.
Close.
I lose that one. That's fair.
Yeah, you lose.
Yeah, you know what? I was running out.
That's all right.
It happens.
It does.
Sometimes.
Every once in a while.
Not to me.
I'm stopping.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that one's over to me now.
I'm not setting this precedent. I'm just not.
I mean, how do you set a president? Don't you usually vote for them?
It's only 10 minutes in, Ryan.
So should I just call you Rarley on the regular?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, that works.
Whatever
you
makes you happy.
You want to reset the game for me?
I would love to. As the chair too. 7-6, One Night At LAN in the lead, but It's a bigger lead in the golden experience than in the kill department. 2,500 experience, nearly 2,700 gold. Looking in a pretty good spot, especially when you look at the levels on the right side of the map. 2 levels for Pitbull, 2 levels for JPrro. Really controlling that right side, that jungle and solo side of the map for Hype Unit.
But when you look at the Pele, it's about even. Mid lane Pele just continuing to keep up. That says something about oBoronic or the choice of character.
I mean, he's gotten a lot of kills so far.
Top damage on his team.
Top damage on his team. He's done pretty well in that aspect. I just think when it comes to the late game, one team's going to have a mage and the other is not. It's Hype Unit that won't have a mage, by the way.
That's true. I was looking at Layers and Wolves, but
they're Guardians. Yeah. And Inbound. He's a Guardian, too.
Yeah, I guess so. Here comes the ultimate. oBoronic uses the ult his own to find an exit on the left-hand side. Now the lights are going to turn off thanks to oGryph, and Keegan turns around. Kind of like that play from the Hunter. I don't like this play from Hype Unit. Jumping forward, JPrro going to take care of Layers. Inbound going to be next, despite the jump in coming up for the Bacchus.
Big damage coming from Wolves, and now oBoronic is back and ready to fight. He takes down Forger Vulcan. Pitbull's going to be a harder task, though.
I don't know. He's got the lifesteal. Wolves has to hit that jump. Can't find it. Now here comes Xbalanque just walking past. No problemo. And another team fight. This time a little bit more even. 1 Night at LAN, 2 for 2, but still keeps their 3,000 gold lead intact.
Yeah, but Layers falls again, and he just needs time on the map
rough.
at this point. He's 0-3 and 4, really, really low on the farm and on the player damage. Just has not been able to make an impact at all so far this game. He's been a long-time Cabrakan player, so you know this is a comfort pick for him. It's not a matter of the selection. Really, I mean, a lot of it does come down to falling on that left side in that fight, because he died at the end of that engagement. It allowed enough time for Pitbull and JPrro to get over and invade speed, which then he died at again. That kill that slipped through Griff's hands actually made a big impact.
Well, here comes the Cabrakan. Won't be enough to take care of the Pyromancer, but nope. Gonna be stuck in here and likely fall. That ring coming down not soon enough, and JPrro gets another kill. Now the rest of Hype Unit has rotated. Here comes a little bit of help from his friends, and Wolves takes kill number 2 and puts it in his K column. I also think a problem that Layers has had has been, you know, this is a team game, and I know how much you love this mid lane Pele, but I can't help but think that a mage would have been better off. Just being able to supply some more AoE damage and some team fight help for Layers. Despite the fact that this is your favorite pick, I think that a traditional mage might have been a better look.
I agree.
Do you?
Despite how much I love this mid lane Pele.
I know that this is like one of your favorite choices.
Right.
This and Jungle Poseidon.
Right.
Definitely your 2 favorite go-to options.
Right. Yep. I was just about to say that too, man. If only this were a Jungle Poseidon, then they'd have a mage in the late game.
That's true, actually.
Yeah. Yep.
Would you like a Jungle Poseidon here?
Love it. Yes. Totally.
I'm not even being.
I am.
I'm not even funching around. I'm just asking. Oh, I know you are.
I'm funching.
But if there was a Poseidon,
it would be worse.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. So Layers is 0-4 and 5. And not doing a whole lot. Right?
Yes.
Okay, no. I just need yes or no's, okay? So that's a yes. However, at least as a Guardian...
Oh, can I say yes or no whenever I want?
Not yet.
Okay.
As a Guardian...
Yes.
He has much better base stats with which to fight than a mage would from behind, correct?
Unsure.
Can't help you then.
Another ultimate coming out from Bakasura. Inbound just getting chewed through. And Griff just able to pretty much free cast. Another kill off screen goes to oBoronic, but then it instantly traded out. It's a 2 for 2. Oh, there's a nice catch. And that's the reason we bring the Cabrakan in. Keegan does find the horse, so not a big deal. And Forger Vulcan able to walk away soundly as well. A 2 for 2, which will always favor the team behind. That said, 1 Night at LAN still up ahead, 3,000 gold.
Especially when one of the two that you lost was just your level 11 support. Despite the early struggles for Hype Unit and Inbound in particular, still 2 levels ahead of Forger Vulcan.
How?
It's got to be Forger Vulcan just losing farm places that he should not be.
Trying to make those rotations time and time again.
I guess so, but Inbound's been largely in the same places at the same time. Forger Vulcan definitely just needs to farm a little bit better than he has in these first 2 games. He also was a little bit hesitant on the ultimate. As soon as JPrro is really going to town on Inbound, you have to use that epic uppercut to get Griff out of the equation. It took him a long time and did it right as JPrro ended up dying, whereas you just want to keep JPrro under no pressure at all. Use that epic uppercut early and keep Griff out of that fight. Maybe he was worried that he might have to use it to secure the kill on Inbound, or maybe it was on cooldown, but if it wasn't, then that's got to be an earlier use onto the enemy ADC to make sure JPrro is able to free cast.
Wolves by himself. Jump, jump, jump. Safety under the tower. 12 to 11 read the kills, and a Hype Unit are trailing by 1 at about 2,000, 3,000 gold. No, 22.46. And so with that in mind, they have shortened the lead ever so slightly. But Hype Unit, again, not exactly bringing what I would consider a late game composition. More of the mid lane, or more of the mid game composition, especially with the lack of a traditional mage. One Night at LAN, they've got Bakasura. This is the old classic hyper carry. I've heard that term overused from time to time, but Bakasura, absolutely a character that you just can't control in the late game should you let him get a lead. And I think that's the old classico, the old school definition of hyper carry for sure.
No pen quite yet for JPrro. That's why that gank on the right-hand side was largely unsuccessful, but working towards what should be an executioner. Hopefully it's not a
Could be Chinsai.
Not going to do very much for you without any pen in the build, and you need penetration in order to make that Chinsai's passive actually worthwhile. And he goes for Chinsai's.
Well, so there is something to be said, the fact that Butcher Blades will give you true damage, but the problem is that that's only up a certain portion of the time, so you're basically kind of fake Freya. You're killing it when your steroid is on, and then you're not when it's not, so going penetration generally kind of covers those gaps. JPrro going the weakened build.
Yeah, I would much rather seen an Executioner in this slot, especially with the very low power that he has so far. You're not really getting a whole lot done from this position if you go at a full health Bacchus. I don't think Chinsai's will be enough to kill him throughout the duration. It's not a long cripple duration. And I'm not saying the Executioner would have either, but at least you're lowering his procs for Pitbull and Keegan to get in there and deal some extra damage at the same time.
Mid lane, Bakasura just going to be taking care of Oboronic Soul Reaper with the last hit. And that'll put a baker's dozen up for One Night at LAN. The mid lane Pele unable to escape that ring. Hype Unit now filtering in towards the Oni Fury. Here comes the blink, and it's immediately met with Forger Vulcan's knockup. Soul Reaper gets the last hit, but now Hype Unit on a tear.
Wolves, the huge intoxicating belly flop. JPrro gets the eat off just in time, but no one's there to save Forger Vulcan. Griff gets his 3rd kill of the game. Pitbull could be next, but not going to be enough damage out of these 3 Guardians to bring him down. 2 for 0, but One Night at LAN get the Gold Fury. Looks like Griff has a chance to get this tier 1 in mid, but with Keeg and JPrro already on their way back from base, looks a little bit unlikely that this tier 1 tower will go down. So I think One Night at LAN about even after that fight overall. No, actually Hype Unit comes out ahead because that's extra golden experience from just being on the map that multiple members of One Night at LAN did not benefit from.
Tower's also going to be a big deal. Only 500 gold, but certainly map presence. Longer places to fall back to for One Night at LAN, should they go for Gold Fury or Pyromancer or anything of that nature. So certainly something to keep in mind. Mortality Wolves going to come to terms with his own mortality as Pitbull. 805 takes care of that one. One Night at LAN gets a Pyromancer. And Hype Unit, again, find themselves 3,000 gold behind the 8 ball.
Good objective focus there from One Night at LAN, trying to understand that they didn't get a whole lot off that Gold Fury, so let's Group up again, go straight for Pyromancer, try and get some more gold, because as much as we like, we like to hate on this composition from Hype Unit, the composition screams to me that we just think we're better at Smite game than you.
Sure.
And so we need to make sure we're getting a lead, or else this team has a chance to really run us over as they did in that Gold Fury. I mean, a 2-man belly flop into Intoxicate did pretty good work there for Wolves.
Well, as we're back into the action, if you're just joining us, 20 minutes in, 13-14. Hype Unit did take game number 1, but game number 2 could be a different story. One Night at LAN trying their best to bring this to a game 3. Hype Unit, with their draft, might be doing the same damn thing. Soul Reaper here, just getting rooted by Inbound. This is a nice little siege from One Night at LAN. Okay, we gotta shorten that. I said,
Go on.
one night, una noche, as Taco would say.
Right.
I don't know how to shorten it.
I think one night is the best one. I don't know.
I think so too.
They didn't leave us with a lot of options, did they?
I was just gonna say there ain't many options here.
They wouldn't do that on purpose, would they?
Oh, there's no way.
They wouldn't.
Definitely
Wait a minute,
not.
they might have.
Man, I mean, you know what? It is One Night at LAN. It could be worse.
What could it be?
Anything, honestly.
You really think this is the best name possible? If you're saying anything could be worse than what it is, then you're insinuating that you think this name is really good.
I mean, iterations of this name. We have seen some terrible names in the past.
I think this ranks
What?
among the worst.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes, I agree. I definitely agree. One Night at LAN.
What about one LAN? That's their
One LAN?
little clan tag. That's
All
not
I
bad.
need is one LAN.
Yeah,
Esports Nas.
yeah. I understand that reference.
One mic goes over your head?
Yeah.
Are you for real? Aggro, have you ever listened to Illmatic by Nas?
Yes. I think.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure I have.
Okay, we have to educate. We have to educate. Soul Reaper getting taught right now. Surrounded. And he ain't got no hall pass. Hype Unit sending him to detention. Trouble for JPrro as well. He has to exit stage left. And Forger Vulcan on the run as well. Here comes Wolves waiting for Keegan. The horse is CCMU.
JPrro just able to survive. Doesn't have an Aegis, but just nearly could have used one. Red buff invade on the table. Looks like it went the way of Hype Unit. Cage needs to be used, but Oboronic's in a pretty bad spot. That actually forces the Phantom by Inbound, but now the chase is on from Wolves.
So mid lane, tower will be the focus one more time. Hype Unit still down 3,000 gold, but you wouldn't honestly be able to guess if you took a look at the way the players are playing. And I think that's one of the big deals that allow Hype Unit to be so much stronger than the rest of the competition, is that up or down, they understand what they can fight into. Now, if you're down 9,000, 10,000 gold, your team fights look very different. But 3,000 gold, comparatively speaking, that is absolutely something that you can and should fight into early and often. Griff goes for the gold spree, will show up a little bit too late, not able to take that one home. And now Hype Unit one more time find themselves on the defensive, but on the chase.
Oboronic nearly fell to the bombs over the wall from Soul Reaper, but another objective goes One Night at LAN's away. I feel like they've gotten every single one so far this game. I believe they've gotten one of each Fury now, a Pyromancer. Only Fire Giant left for them to start taking down, but there are still a lot of towers they have to get. They've only gotten the tier 1 in solo lane so far, and that means there's plenty of gold on the map for One Night at LAN to recoup quickly, but Hype Unit, they've gotten an extra tower down so far, so those tier 2s are a little bit easier for them to siege should they win a fight.
25 on the clock, and now the Fire Giant is enhanced.
That's all you got?
Well, usually my color commentator would now fill
Reset the game. 14-14.
And now my job is to explain the enhanced Fire Giant. So better than the original Fire Giant is the enhanced Fire Giant. It shows up after 25 minutes have been expended in the game. And what it does is it's all of the Fire Giant stuff is now better, but also strips a little bit of the backdoor protections that you might have if you are sieging.
Well, Keegan's doing the one-man siege right now on this left-hand side. Teleport will be in time from Wolves. One auto right there, but Keegs has dash,
Are you
has
mad
relics.
if you're Wolves?
No, you're okay.
Oh, I'm mad if I'm Layers.
Just short of catching him in there, but Keegs still ends up falling. I don't know why One Night at LAN didn't just force the fight on the right-hand side. They need to be forcing a fight. If they see the teleport come in from Wolves, that's obviously communicated by Keegs. And then as soon as Layers shows up, that means you've got a 5-on-3 around the Fire Giant. Take that fight. That's a good fight for you guys.
Hype unit now with the numbers lead, looking for the fight in the mid lane. There's the Xbalanque ultimate. Knock up. There's a bigger knock up for your Vulcan. Beautiful ring coming out from Pitbull. And JPrro just chowing down, doing his best Matt Stoney impression, just eating everything he can see. It's 16 in total for One Night at LAN.
A fight by Hype Unit they seem really invested in taking, but Inbound doesn't use the Phantom. I'm assuming that came up off cooldown right now. Don't know why he wouldn't use it after a really good cage from Pitbull, but both Wolves and Layers have just used their ultimates.
What is this? Is this funny?
Yeah, it's real. It's good
the
stuff.
The back? No, like I'm legitimately like asking, is that BM?
Yeah,
like, I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that. The I'm gonna follow you and back next to you.
Yeah,
that's kind of good.
You like that one? You're gonna give it a shot?
I think so. I do like that one because I think laugh spam, like macro laugh spam, is over. Like unless you're playing ROM, I think it's old hat.
I think there are good situations for it. I like. If I get picked up by a Fenrir ult and then start laugh spamming, that's funny to me.
See, I much prefer single laugh. Like, I get you, and then I go, VEL, ha-ha! I just sit there, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. There's something to be said. I mean, you just want to catch them off guard. And that's the big thing.
Yeah.
You just can't be predictable.
Like, Pele mid.
Sure. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oboronic, positive KDA, 7-5-4. Can't say anything to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
You good?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everything solid?
Cool with me.
Feeling strong?
Some ways.
0 to 10. You a 10?
Sure.
Glad to hear it.
Guess so.
JPrro, not playing the chalk this time. Played chalk last week.
How'd that go?
Respectfully, not well.
How about disrespectfully?
I told him that he should put the pro in quotes.
That's pretty good.
Pitbull, decent ring. None of his teammates are here, so more defensive than anything else. Soul Reaper shows up and puts a little bit of poke on Layers. Now cuts him down to about 55. JPrro in some trouble. Great game today, by the way. 9-2-5. I'd like to see him continue it, but Layers has other plans. Soul Reaper, the mid lane, is going to sit down because of a nice little trap. Cabrakan and his team will walk away. 6,000 gold, One Night at LAN's junior. But again, lead be damned. Hype unit are just pressing forward, and Pitbull sits down again. Layers 3-5-8. KP fighting his way back into this one.
And now, who cares if you have a mid lane major or not? You've got an extra physical damage dealer that can help with these towers. But Oboronic not interested in the objective. Instead, looking for Keegs. But a quick mez negates the blink. Now for the mid Phoenix. No one here to mez me now.
Nope, goes for Keegan. And Keegan Gonna sit down. One for Bobby and one for Oboronic. 8, 5, and 6. The mid lane Phoenix gonna go down here. 30 seconds on the solo. 50 seconds on the Hunter and the jungle. Ryan, excuse me, iRoarly, can they win?
What's a catchphrase in iCarly? I don't know. They're going to win, it looks like. One bad fight towards the jungle ends up really costing them, but Soul Reaper's doing a lot of damage, but that's just enough. Look at those health bars on all three of those members. Hype unit 19-17 and still down in gold. Pull out the victory, and the "we are better than you at Smite game" composition pays off.
Well, as you said, towards the end of the game, having that extra physical certainly helped on the towers.
You got it. Yeah, he hit a lot of towers there at the end, didn't he?
Irrelevant. The point remains. The assassin was able to do the damage there and take the victory here.
Oboronic played really well. That's all I have to say about that. He played well.
It worked. I would love to hear, actually, Inbowned, this is a shout out to you. Let me know whose choice the mid lane Pele was. Please and thank you. 2 games in the book. This one belongs to Hype.
Hey, what's going on? It was Boronic's choice, Tom. What a silly question. Oboronic was like, I want to farm on Pele.
I can't believe that even needs to be asked. Yeah, I mean, Oboronic basically said, I kind of want to just, hyperbody everybody. But yeah. That wasn't even the case, though. To be, we got to give...
It was a close game, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was a really close game. I mean,
yes.
For a second there, I definitely thought that Hype unit might even look mortal to some of the other teams, because so far that 1 set loss that they do have in their record, having come from the forfeit that they intentionally went through last week, or not intentionally, obviously. I mean, nobody plans to forfeit games, or
right.
At least I
unforced is how I would describe it, right?
I would have to hope that they're not planning to forfeit their sets. But
right.
In all seriousness, though, I think that one night at LAN, for doing a little bit of the salty run back, I definitely think that it worked out significantly better for them this time. The team fight seemed a lot more concise as well. That game just crumbled so fast for one night at LAN, though, and it all came off the back. It was around like the 28.5-minute mark where I think things really started to collapse, because Pitbull finds a really nice Odin cage. He gets the front line.
But it's just him.
Yeah. And then by the time that one night it lands, Agni has a chance to even approach the situation. That cage is already wearing off, and that was kind of the green light in my mind for Hype unit.
Exactly. If Layers is good at one thing, and he's not, he's good at a ton of things. But one of those things is running at you. I would be factually incorrect, but he's good at running at you when you don't expect him to. And he caught out, as you said, a Soul Reaper, locked him in with the cage, and or with his tectonic shift, and that kind of just started the waterfall effect. After that pick, Hype unit kind of just kept saying to themselves, you think we can still win this fight? And then they did. What about this next? I think we can get them. And then they did.
That was the entirety of this game, even for Hype unit. Like, you think we could do this? Yeah, I don't know. Why don't you try it?
Yeah, you think we can get this guy? Get him. Yeah, this is that exact play on the Soul Reaper where Layer starts this off. Layer slays, chaotic purpose, whatever you want to call him. That was the play that started the end, the beginning of the end for one night at LAN. Unfortunately, they end up taking the loss there, Taco. But I don't want them to feel too bad about it. This was much better than their game one was. So I think that that's something they can try and build on, right? If they're playing at their peak, and if they can catch Hype unit kind of sleeping a bit like they did here, I think they've got a real chance.
I think this was a night and day performance within a set for one night at LAN. And sure, it's always rough whenever you're, at the end of the day, you're signing off and the set was a loss overall.
Right.
But
yes,
I definitely think that there was a lot of potential still to be had with this team. They do have members like Keegan, I think, that can certainly bring that individual talent level and kind of get everybody else from the squad to sort of rise up as a result. But for right now, the one big rise that I am seeing is Hype unit in those standings.
They're up at the top. You can see they're still number one because they're plus minus. I think really the only individual games they've lost were on the forfeit that they had. So that's to their favor here, as Passion are 2 in the plus minus. So if there were a tiebreaker, but it would favor Hype unit, at least for now, based on their win-loss within the sets as well as the actual sets themselves. So they're still up there. They're still distinguished. They got to make sure they're perfect from here on out, though. Even those individual games matter because they had that unfortunate error.
A little bit less, room for error for those guys, but at the end, it's Hype unit. They probably still feel confident in themselves, and I think that the rest of the scene, we're probably bound to see a lot of shifts because Sugar Pea Squad, one night at LAN. I think that those two teams, it's kind of a coin flip who's going to come out with like the better performance on a given day. I think that all of these teams definitely have. They're all really close in skill level and looking pretty good.
I agree. Whoever's looking better on the day, I think between those other 3 teams are the ones that can grab it. But that's going to do it at least for the console side of the day. We've got Minor League coming for you tomorrow. I think Esports Weekly is on Thursday this week. SPL will be then too. So there's plenty more Smite for you all to enjoy. Again, for me, for Taco, Tom, Agro, everybody in the back, that's it for the SCL. We'll see you all tomorrow.
The Smite Console League, brought to you by Skillshot, hi-rez Studios, Titan Forge, INAP, Steel Series, and Respawn.